So, we all sometimes, when we're having, maybe we have 5 blunts in, we're having a nice conversation about, what if we lived in a world that wasn't so horrible? And during these blunt rotations, sometimes we come up like, what if we banned homelessness, man? Like, what if we made it so that, like, it's illegal to not have a house, man? It's like, well, what did you do, man? It's like, oh, we'll give them houses, man. Like, wouldn't that be cool? So I see, like, I see headlines that are like, oh, we're going to ban homelessness. Okay, great. And then I realize, oh, right, I forgot. Most Americans mean we just want to execute homeless people in the street and or like kill them in the wintertime and or send them to jail, right? That's what most people mean when they say ban homelessness. They mean just kill the motherfuckers, right? So anyway, fast forward to San Diego. Proposal banning homeless encampments in San Diego to be considered. Quote, we are not a giant toilet. Okay. So part 1, there's homeless people. Part 2, we're not a giant toilet? I don't know, man. I'm seeing signs of schizophrenia at play. I don't know. Whoever said that, I suggest looking into the medical field, possibly getting a mental health professional to come help you out. Homeless people existing has nothing to do with you seeing giant toilets. Are you on like a drug of some kind? Like, why are you seeing giant toilets? What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, city council members in San Diego are considering a proposal to ban homeless encampments from public property amid years-long frustration over the city's mounting homelessness crisis. By the way, all of this, I just need you to know, it's cheaper to give homeless people housing than it is to hire a bunch of cops to go fucking beat the shit out of them. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you. If you actually wanted to ban homelessness, what you would do is maybe you would use eminent domain instead of stealing property from black people for once. Maybe you steal it from those rich, gentrifying cocksuckers, right? Take some of those high-rise apartment buildings and condominiums and give them to homeless people that need a place to stay. How about that? That's the way you ban homelessness, motherfucker. You don't fucking buy a bunch of cops, give them a bunch of guns and hoses, and have them beat the shit out of homeless people. Where do they go? Where the fuck did they go? Like, I'm serious, like, there's 2 options here. If you want to ban homelessness, there are 2 options. There's no middle ground. Either you're advocating for a genocide of the homeless people, killing them or, forcefully ejecting them from the place. Or 2, you give them a house. It's not that complicated. There's no middle ground. Like, giving cops more money and more fire hoses, that doesn't solve homelessness. How does that fucking solve homelessness? What the fuck? You have 2 options. Kill the motherfuckers or give them houses. That's it. Those are the 2 options. The city council is expected to debate the proposal submitted by city councilman Stephen Whitburn. On Tuesday, the proposal seeks to prohibit homeless people from camping on public property if shelter options are available. Now, this is the big one. This is the same thing with, like, you ever see this, like, abortion shit? Life of the mother. You ever see these guys? Well, it's like at the life of the mother, it's like, rape and incest, Who the fuck is going to be in charge of determining if shelter options are available? What does that mean? Now, I hate to burst your bubble out here, folks, but most homeless shelters, now, not all of them, just to be clear, not all of them, but a large percentage of them are money laundering schemes by rich people. What that means is they buy and operate a homeless shelter so that they can get headlines, look how great we are, we're buying a homeless shelter. Then 5 to 10 years down the line, they sell the fucking property to like a fucking sports arena or an apartment complex or some other fucking shit. And also, a lot of these so-called homeless shelters are worse than sleeping on the streets, right? In a lot of instances. Now, again, I'm not saying all of them are, but I have experience talking to homeless people, asking them questions, having in-depth conversations with homeless people. And from those conversations that I've had, I have gathered that a lot of homeless shelters are fucked up. You go there, and what do? There's no resources available, right? There's barely any food available. There's barely any room. Usually it's like a giant gymnasium with, like, you just have a sleeping bag, you sleep next to people. That's no way to live, right? A lot of the times in the summer, right, air conditioning breaks down, it gets really hot. You know, again, CO2 is a problem when you got 500 people in a gymnasium, right? So again, I'm not saying all homeless shelters are bad, but we need to fucking understand that most of them, they're not actually really doing anything. It's, you know, it's more like a containment location. And you know what? Whatever happened to people's right to walk around in public? Can we talk about this? Like, why the fuck are we criminalizing people from walking around in public? What is camping? What is that? What is camping? Well, we've seen people call the cops on people for being homeless. No tents. Just sitting in a park bench, and then they get fucking, you know, they get fucking beaten or tased by police under camping laws. Yeah, sitting on a park bench is camping. Look it up. There's multiple instances of police say, sorry, you're not allowed to camp here, to someone sitting on a bench. So again, the plan has received support from San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria, who seems to be a neo-Nazi, who emphasized the need for safe and hygienic sidewalks, parks, and canyons in a string of... Canyons? What the fuck? Canyons? Yeah, those things that go great together. Sidewalks, parks, canyons. What? Well, you ever walk down the sidewalk, cut through the park to enter the canyon? Do we not know? What the fuck is a canyon, motherfucker? Canyon? Really? We're just walking through the park on our way to the fucking canyon? Like someone is pissing off into the fucking canyon? I mean, honestly, though, that sounds fun. I'm down to piss off into a canyon. Sign me the fuck up. And also, I've never been to San Diego. Do they just have canyons hanging? You just walk around San Diego. Oh, look, there's the canyon. How many canyons are in San Diego? What the fuck did it... To the point where it's as common as a sidewalk, a park, and a canyon? A canyon? I'm just for my own sake, let me just look up. What is a canyon? Like, this seems like there's no way that this is true. A deep gorge, typically one with a river flowing through it. Okay, that's the definition of a canyon. How many canyons are in San Diego? More than 150 canyons. Oh, Jesus. Alright, I guess there's a lot of fucking canyons. I mean, what the fuck does that even... How the fuck are there 150 canyons? Anyway, whatever. I mean, I've never been to San Diego, okay? I'll take the L on that one. But whatever. Let's keep going. Quote, they expect to be able to walk on the sidewalks unobstructed. They expect to be able to get their children to school safely. Like, what does that mean, safely? As if homeless people are, like, a threat against your children. Like, what? Like, oh, I'm trying to get... Like, okay, so what are we discussing? Oh, we're discussing homeless people. Right? I'm trying to get my kids to school safely. Now, first of all, what the fuck? We're talking about homeless people. Second of all, are you blogging? Third of all, how about, that sounds like your own damn problem. You decided to have a motherfucking kid. How about you fucking get them to school safely? What the fuck does this have to do with homeless people? Oh, I know. It's because these people think homeless people are intrinsically evil, violent, and dangerous. Yeah, because the moment someone can't pay their rent, they become a fucking criminal. They become a serial killer. The moment someone falls behind on a mortgage payment, yeah, they just snap. Just like that, they become Ted Kaczynski or whatever the fuck, whatever, who knows, right? Like, are you fucking kidding me? This idea that homeless people are inherently violent, criminal, like they're gonna fuck your kids up, what? Anyway. There you go. We're gonna ban homelessness, folks. Yeah. Why give homeless people housing? I'll tell you why. Why not? I mean, why not? I'll tell you why. The only reason homeless people exist is to make poor people feel like they have something to lose. That's why homeless people exist. If you gave homeless people housing, poor people would not feel that they have as much to lose. And when you have someone who is raising, let's say they're a single mother and they got 3 kids, and they are falling behind on rent, right? They have the fear of homelessness built right into them. And that fear of homelessness drives people to behave like fucking comic book villains, right? That fear of homelessness, people are taught to look down on homeless people like it's all their fault. When most of the time, most Americans are 1, maybe 2, sometimes 3 mistakes away of becoming homeless themselves. And that fear of homeless people makes Americans do some really crazy, fucked up shit. Like take jobs that are abusive to them and bad for their health, right? Like get themselves in unhelpful, unhealthy relationships just for the sake of keeping a roof over their kids' heads. When you instill the fear of homelessness in people, it makes them behave. And so when we talk about banning homelessness, we need to understand these people are fundamentally Nazis. They want to threaten you with the idea that if you make 1 or 2 mistakes, you're garbage, you're refuse. And then they're going to pass laws to clean up the garbage. How do you do that? How? Without giving homeless people homes, how do you clean up the garbage? What's the other mechanism? Fill in the blank.